Shalom. My name is Anthony Bailey. I'm the lead minister at Parkdale United Church here in Ottawa, the same city that I share with my friends Rabbi Bulka and Rabbi Sher. And I was invited to offer a few comments and perspective on what is going on now. Not only are we in a season of pandemic and COVID-19 that has caused all kinds of emotions and disruptions in our lives, but just last week, what I would call a modern day lynching of Mr. George Floyd in Minneapolis by 4 officers, all of whom have now been charged. And this unleashed an incredible amount of protests and rallies and marches. But the mistake would be to think this is only a problem in the United States. Systemic racism is there, yes, but it's also here. Think of our indigenous peoples who have been discriminated upon from the very beginning, and this continues even today with the Indian Act and so forth. We think also, which many people may not know here in Canada, that Sir Wilfrid Laurier's government passed an order in council back in 1911 banning black immigration. They did not want black people to come to Canada. This was in effect and only repealed, I understand, in the early 60s. We think also of your own community, the Jewish community, thinking back to 1939 when Jewish refugees came at the MS Saint Louis, about 937, and they were turned away. And over 200 ended up in the gas chambers. And so we have our own history of systemic racism, and this manifests itself in our institutions as well. Racial profiling. I have been racially profiled. I've also experienced deep, tragic, painful racist behavior. My brother and I were attacked unprovoked by those who call themselves racist. They stabbed my brother to death and tried to kill me also. So this country has its own issues that it needs to contend with. The racialized black community are over-policed. We find ourselves having much more serious outcomes with respect to housing, employment, differential ways in which students in school are treated, the social services system. All of those things come together to make our lives much more difficult. We have the talk with our children. We say that, you have to be very careful when you go out because if you're in a group with other white children, something happens, chances are, and the evidence shows it, that you will be pulled out and more harshly treated. And so we find ourselves having to make efforts to advocate for our own behalf and to find ways in which we can find common cause with other communities. And so I ask that you would pay attention to what is happening in the pleas of racialized black people and what needs to happen in order for us to come together. May I close with a Hebrew blessing that I enjoy from your tradition. Hashem desires that we asot mishpat ve'chabat chesed ve'chadehnehach lechetim elolechecha. We indeed need to come together with mercy, justice, and love. Thank you.